Packing camera gear for a Disney vacation can feel super overwhelming on top of everything else you have to pack, especially if you're bringing kiddos with you as well. But when you pack the right photo equipment for your trip, you will be able to take beautiful photos that you love and that you and your family get to enjoy forever. So today we're talking about your Disney photography packing list. I'm Carrie, I'm a photographer and a huge Disney Parks fan. I bring my DSLR and a bunch of camera equipment with me to Disney multiple times a year. So whether you plan to bring a big camera, a disposable camera, or just your phone, I'm here today to share lots of tips and tricks that I've learned about what to pack and what to leave home for your Disney vacation. First, we're going to start with the basics or the must-haves, regardless of what you're photographing with. Then we'll talk about phone camera accessories, then DSLR, and then a bunch of nice to have or super fun extra stuff. So to start, let's talk about the basics or the must-haves for every Disney Parks photographer. The number one most important thing in my opinion is a comfortable park bag. Whenever I go, I always bring my DSLR with me, and it's really important that I have a backpack that's big enough to hold all of my necessities like my ponchos, my snacks, the stuff for my kids, and have extra room for my DSLR. The most important thing about the bag you choose to bring your camera stuff to Disney in is just make sure it's functional for you. Currently, I'm actually using a bag that I bought at the All Stars. I was on a vacation and I had a little soda disaster. I was so excited to buy my resort mug. It was the first time I ever bought one. And I went to Disney Springs with the mug filled up, which was probably a silly decision, along with my backpack. I put the mug in the holder, and on the bus ride back from Disney Springs back to All Stars, the mug was still pretty full and it tipped over on the bus and just spilled like everywhere in the backpack. Thank goodness my camera didn't get destroyed, but the backpack was just totally destroyed. I tried everything to salvage it and I just couldn't. So I bought this bag from the All Stars gift shop and I love it so much. Finding a bag that works for you, that's comfortable for you, is the most important thing. All right, the next thing to make sure you pack are extra batteries. So no matter what kind of camera you're using, whether you're using your cell phone, you want to make sure you have an extra battery pack to use. You'll be on your phone all day at the parks. So if you're using My Disney Experience app and taking photos on your phone, you're going to absolutely need an extra battery. So I just have this Anchor external battery charger. It works awesome. I think I can get 2 full charges out of it. It works really great. And of course, if you have a DSLR, you're going to want to bring all of your extra batteries and your battery charger for each night back at the hotel. Make sure you're also bringing all of the cables and the charging cords and all that good stuff that you need as well. Every time I go, I also bring my charging bank from home. It has like the USB-C slots and just regular slots, so I can charge a whole bunch of equipment each night when we're back at the hotel. The next thing I bring on every single Disney vacation that I think is really important are lens cleaners or cloths, especially for your DSLR and your phone. So I think my number one tip to get great photos on your cell phone is to wipe off the camera lenses before you take a photo. If you're giving your camera to your kids while they're in line, their fingers are sticky and sweaty and it just gets smudged. Those types of photos, let's say you take a picture in front of the castle and you have smudges on your camera lens, it is almost impossible to edit a photo where the lens is all smudged. That's really hard to clean up or to get a good photo afterwards. Same with your DSLR, obviously. You don't want to use your shirt on your DSLR. I will use my t-shirt on my cell phone, but of course my nicer lenses, I always use a lens cloth or cover just to wipe it off quick before I start taking photos. That can really help make sure you have a nice, clean, clear photo. Okay, now let's talk about cell phone. So if you are going to Disney and you are just bringing your cell phone, here are the things that I recommend bringing to be sure that you come home with awesome Disney photos. So the first thing, which I'm sure you already have this, but make sure you have a case on your cell phone. I have a case and it actually has a little, there is a strap through a little eye hole on my phone case that I can hold my phone around my wrist if I want to. I use that if I'm ever taking photos or video on a ride. I make sure that that's around my wrist very tight, not only to protect my camera, but also to be sure I'm protecting myself and other people on the ride for safety. I would hate for my phone to go flying out of my hand on accident, not only because it would be horrible to lose it on vacation, but I don't want to hurt anybody else or have it go slipping out and, not be able to get it back. That would be terrible. So just having a case on it to be sure that you can keep it safe so that it doesn't drop and crack the lens. And again, I already went through this, but my external battery charger is like a non-negotiable. I have to have this with me every single Disney park stay. It's in my backpack with me everywhere I go. It is awesome. You might also know that they have the fuel rods at Disney World as well. There are stations all throughout the parks that give out, they like dispense a little machine, a little fuel rod, they call them, and you can purchase them one time. Then anytime you see a fuel rod station, you can go and exchange it for a fully charged one or two fuel rods, depending on the machine that you find. They have them at airports, they have them all over as well. So if you forget your external charger, your external battery, you can also do that as well. Okay, this is something that I bring on every single Disney vacation with me, whether I plan to mostly photograph on my DSLR or the GoPro or whatever else I'm using. Anytime I go to Disney, I always have one of these awesome little tripods. I have two of them right now, so I'm actually using one to hold up my phone while I'm recording this. But I bring one, sometimes even two of these on each trip. This brand is called Size, and I just got them both off Amazon. They're super affordable. They've been really great with my phone. The thing I love about these is the legs can move and, grasp different things. So when I'm with my kids, I love to take this and put it on the stroller handle. And then I can just quickly like move us aside and put the camera on the stroller handle. I can get us all out, take a quick photo. Sometimes I just want to take a photo of myself or my family, and there might not be a PhotoPass photographer right there, or there might not be somebody available that I can ask to take a photo of us. And so having this is so nice. If you don't have a tripod like this, another trick I do with my cell phone is I will just prop my cell phone up on anything that I see that could be a good angle. So I will take my bag and I'll plop it on the floor and I'll set my cell phone up that way. And I will take photos using that almost as a tripod. If you are by Cinderella Castle, there are lanterns going all the way up towards the castle, and I've set my cell phone on those. They have railings and fences at Animal Kingdom as well. You can set your cell phone on things like that. So if you just don't have the room for a tripod, or if you're like, I don't want to bring one extra thing, you can live without it for sure. But I do love this. It's just something that if I see a really great angle or a photo that I want to take, I can use this anywhere. I don't have to rely on having a fence or something else to set my phone on. And one thing I will add is at Walt Disney World, you are allowed to bring tripods. So you can bring a big tripod if you want to take photos of the fireworks. They cannot be larger than, I believe it's 6 feet tall, extended. You are allowed to bring small tripods like this as well. The things that you are not allowed to bring are drones. Those are absolutely prohibited at Walt Disney World, as well as selfie sticks. And then a bonus thing when I am using my cell phone to take photos is actually my watch. So I don't know if I can even turn my wrist. Maybe you can see. Can you see how I'm recording in my watch right now? If you have an Apple Watch, there is a little camera icon on the watch. When you click that, it automatically syncs to your phone, and you can look in your watch. Oh, I'm going to try and turn. You can look in your watch to see what the camera is capturing. So this has also been a way that I've been able to get really incredible cell phone photos, or specifically iPhone photos, because sometimes it's hard. You might have tried this where you set your cell phone up and you're like, I'm going to take a photo, and it just doesn't turn out the right way. You have to go back and forth and look at it. But when you have the watch and you can see it right in front of you, what you're capturing, it works so nicely. I also always use my back camera, which is why having the watch is extremely helpful, because then I can see what's being captured in the camera. Okay, moving on to DSLR. Okay, so every single Disney vacation I go on, I bring my Nikon D, what is this? A D750. I forgot for a second. And I bring one or two lenses. So I have two lenses that I shoot with constantly that I love. This is my absolute favorite. Thank you to my friend Marissa who sold it to me because I love it so much. This is the Sigma Art 85 1.4, and I am obsessed. I think it's the most beautiful lens ever, but it is very heavy. So I have this lens, and then I'm going to show you this, and you're going to think it's maybe a bad product, but I promise this has been with me for about 7 years now. So I also have my 35mm lens that I also like to use. But my point of saying that is that I keep my lenses in this bag. This is an Altura bag. Now it looks like it's beat up, and it is, but that's because I've used this. I mean, I take my lenses in and out of it constantly. I think if I just like cut this fabric off here at the end, it would be fine again. But I am obsessed with these little camera lens bags. This one just fits my 85 perfectly. So whenever I go, I just take one of these guys and I just drop my lens that I'm not using in here. Previously, when it wasn't broken, I could tie it up, but I just plop this in my camera bag and it's super protected. It's super soft. So um, I just love this. I think it's really easy. It's small. It's nice. So I use that. And then for my actual camera body with whatever lens is on at the moment, I would say this is probably my favorite camera accessory I've ever purchased. I love this thing so much. Again, I've had this for over 10 years. I just love it. So this is called the Domke, Domke protective wrap. And again, I just got it off of Amazon. It's like a waterproof material on the inside. It's a really soft material on the outside. And then each of the four corners has a really strong Velcro. So when I am ready to get on a ride and I just need to throw my camera in my bag, I just quickly go over to the side. I put my wrap down, I take my camera, and you just kind of wrap it up like it's a little present or something. So you just take your four corners and Velcro it. And then now it's like in a nice little wrap so that I'm not putting it in my park bag with all my other stuff that I have. Because if I just had my camera body in there, like with this, I don't want anything to happen to it. So I have this and this, which protect my equipment. And then I throw it in my park bag and then I get on the ride and have a really great time. So those two items are probably my two favorite protective items that I use for my camera. Another thing I have that I take every single time is a rain sleeve. I don't have it right here, but you can purchase those on Amazon as well for your DSLR because we all know it will probably rain on your vacation, especially if you're going in the summer. If you have your camera out and the rain starts pouring down, but maybe there is something you still want to photograph, they're like a poncho for your camera. It's a long plastic sleeve. You can put your camera in it, and then there's just an opening for your lens. So that's a really great accessory to have with you when you're photographing at Disney as well. And then the next thing I recommend for your DSLR, if you don't already have one, is a really, really comfortable strap. I bought this again off of Amazon years ago. It is just a cloth strap. So the like plastic or the harder straps, they really make my neck uncomfortable. And in fact, I don't really ever wear my camera on my neck. I wrap this around my wrist several times, and that's how I take photos. It's more comfortable for me. I know that if I drop my camera, I'm still going to have it. It's going to be safe yet. Having a nice, comfortable camera strap can help you just stay comfortable holding your camera, even when it's hot or late in the day and you're tired. All right, another thing that you need if you're bringing your DSLR is lots of extra memory cards. So either make sure you're buying one that has plenty of space that you know you're not going to take, 10,000 photos or whatever, or you have lots of fresh memory cards for your vacation because running out of space is a very awful thing that could happen if you are taking a lot of photos. So, lots of extra memory cards is a good tip. If you have a Nikon camera, you may already know this, but the Nikon app can work in a similar way as the watch, where if you are holding your cell phone and you set your camera up to take a photo of you, you can open the Nikon app and you will be able to see what your camera is capturing. And you can press the button in the app on your phone to have your camera take photos of you. So that's also been a really, really awesome thing that I've used in the past to make sure I'm getting great photos of myself on my DSLR. I always find it to be a lot more cumbersome to set my Nikon up to take photos of myself than just my cell phone. But if you know that you want really professional, beautiful looking photos on your DSLR, you can use that Nikon app to set your phone up. I'm sorry, to set your camera up that way. Additionally, you can bring a big tripod in. So if you want to take photos of yourself or your family with your DSLR, you are more than welcome to bring a large tripod for your DSLR. It doesn't have to be one of these small ones. Like I said previously, I believe the rule is it has to be 6 feet or under. I have brought mine in with this bag before with no problems at all. My tripod, once it's folded up really small, fits right in here and it Velcros in. I have used my tripod to go to the Contemporary and take photos of the fireworks, which was super fun. That's a great place to take fireworks photos. But again, if you wanted to use your Nikon to take photos of yourself, you can use the Nikon app on your camera with a tripod or just set your camera up wherever you like. I'm just always a lot more careful with this camera than my cell phone if I'm setting it up in, busier walkways or places where there's a lot of people, because people at Disney are busy. They're pushing their strollers. If you have your tripod set up in the middle of a walkway, it's a little more dangerous, I'd say, to do it that way. So that's why I tend to use my cell phone to take more photos like that. Okay, and then the last thing for your DSLR is a sun filter. If you know that you're going to be taking a lot of photos outside, which that's where most of us are taking photos at Disney World, the day is very bright at Disney, as we know. That's kind of an obvious statement. The sun is very bright, but it's hard, like specifically on this lens, it goes down to 1.4, and that's what I love. I know that's not what a lot of people like, but for my photography, I love going down to 1.4. And if it is super sunny out, there's just no way that I can do that. My photos will be blown out, they'll be too bright. And so having a sun filter, like an ND filter on your lens, like it basically acts as like a sunglass for your camera. So that can help tremendously in that bright, bright Florida sun if you are trying to take photos during the day, like if you're trying to take photos during the Festival of Fantasy parade, or if you know you're just going to be there midday and taking photos, having a sun filter is invaluable for that. Okay, so here is just like an extra list of fun things that I have brought on my vacations before, kind of like a nice to have, fun to have extra list. So the newest thing that I'm into that I have taken, I think, on my last 4 vacations are disposable cameras. I have had the most fun taking disposable cameras with me. I've gotten them all off of Amazon. They have Kodak, or I've been using the Fuji disposables lately. And I think it's a great way to improve your photography because with a disposable camera, you just get that one shot. There's, 28 photos on a disposable, and it really helps me slow down to be sure I'm framing my photo in the way that I want. It is really fun to know that you just have the one shot, and then you have to wait to get them developed till after your vacation. The film photos at Disney specifically are so nostalgic and they're so beautiful. I love them so much. So it's just like a super fun extra thing to have. The thing that I also love about it is they're so light. I always have a fanny pack with me in addition to my backpack. And so I can just fit this right in my fanny pack next to my phone. They're so easy to grab and just take a quick photo and just keep going through your day. I'm also going to be making a longer video just like this one, all about film photography or disposable photography. So if you are interested in that video, make sure to give this one a like and subscribe so you can find out when I post that video. And then in addition to a disposable camera, the other camera that I sometimes bring with me, oh, where did I put it? Oh, here it is my little GoPro. It is very fun when I have my kids with me to take photos or video in the pool. I am very careful to not take photos or videos of other people's children or other people in the pool, but if you have the pool to yourself, like we often have in January when we're swimming in like 50-degree weather and nobody else is there, it's the perfect thing to have. I have some video of my son and I going down the slide at Riverside when we stayed there in February. It is one more thing to think about and one more thing to have, but it's light, it's small, it's easy to pack, and it's really fun to have if you decide to use it. Okay, and then my next fun extra thing that I bring almost always, just again because it's very small and it's very fun to have. This is more for my DSLR friends, but I love to bring different prisms with me to Disney. I can get some really beautiful photos of the castle or the fireworks by using these. This is just a fun ring prism that you just kind of hold up to the lens and you kind of look through your viewfinder and hold up the prism, catch the sunlight and see how it looks. It's really fun. This one's my favorite. It's just like an actual real prism, and same thing, you just kind of play with it and just move it around. You can get some really fun, cool effects. I would say the things about these are this one's actually kind of sharp. I was a little bit worried about security when I was going through, but they've never said anything to me. I just have it in one of these little black pouches, so they've always let me through. It's not dangerous or anything. It's just like a heavy, kind of a random, like, why are you holding this piece of, glass? But it's one of those pieces of equipment that just take a little time. Like if you're traveling alone or with a group of adults and you know you're going to be sitting by Spaceship Earth at night and just enjoying the view, that's where these things are really fun to have. If you're with your kids and you know you're going to be like momming in the moment, it's like too much, right? to even think about having this when you've been with your kids at the park all day, this is not something I would bring. But when you're alone and you're like, I know that I'm just going to have some downtime to relax, this is when this kind of stuff is super fun to have. And then the last thing that I bring with me from time to time, I don't do this every time, but it really helps when I bring it, is a notebook with a photography list. So, one of my other biggest Disney photography tips is to make a plan before you go. Decide what kind of photos you want to take on your vacation. Is this vacation focused on your kids and them meeting their favorite characters, and you want to capture those moments maybe through video? Is this trip a solo trip and it's your first time bringing your DSLR to Disney and you're super excited just to slow down and take a bunch of beautiful shots? Just thinking about what kind of trip this is for you and what your photography goals are for your vacation can help tremendously for you to come home with photos that you love and get to look at and reminisce about your vacation forever. Because that's the magic of Disney, right? We go on these vacations, we spend a lot of money on Disney, and the whole point is to be able to remember this vacation for the rest of your life. So, having something to remind you what your photography goals are there any photo walls that you want to take photos near? Or is there a specific castle shot you're looking to get? Just having that list written down with some notes is really helpful. All right, so that's my ultimate Disney photography packing list. If you have other things that I missed, please put them in the comments. I love to learn from other amazing Disney photographers like you. If this was helpful, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button and the bell so you're notified of all future videos I post. And if you end up taking some beautiful photos at Disney, I love to see them. So if you'd like to tag me, I'm over at Instagram at photograph_the_magic. I'm wishing you lots of beautiful photography, lots of fun on your Disney vacation. Thanks. Bye, friends.